This is Infested Chris, bringing you a quick start guide to Farming Simulator 22. If you're just started the game, or you just want to know how do I jump right in, what do I need to know, what equipment should I start off with, all that stuff, this is your video right here. So this is the map that you'll be starting off with. First thing you want to do is open up, hit escape for your map. So here's the map, and here's like all this other stuff in here, and just familiarize yourself with this stuff. And first thing we're going to go is into the options. So we're in the general settings, so you can add the help windows on or off and stuff like that. What I like to do is turn everything from, if you're in the US, I like to turn everything to dollar, miles, Fahrenheit, acres. And this is all preference. You can turn the radio on or off. Camera, I just leave that as default. Input controls, I usually leave all these in default. The sound, you might need to adjust the sound, so go ahead and do that based on your preferences. And then you're going to click this little tractor icon with that. And here you can do the auto save intervals. I like to turn this off and manually save. The way you can save from this gearbox or from here and hit spacebar. And that will save your game manually. Time scale, I like to leave that in, like really slow. And we're using the easy difficulty. So this is for people that want to play on easy, who just want to get started, learn the game a little bit, and then advance. So traffic, I like to turn this off. And then the reason for that, the cars are not really that smart. There's not that many cars on the road, and they tend to smash into you when you're on the road. They don't really yield to you or anything else, and I've had them flip over my tractor once or twice in previous simulator games, so I like to turn this off. It's unless, of course, you like more immersion in your game and you want to turn that on, go ahead. It's all that great. Seasonal growth, we're going to leave this on for now. This is the new feature in Simulator 22, and I'll explain more about that later. And then every day will be a month. So every day, every 24 hours will be 1 month advancing. So we're going to keep that to 1 day. Fixed visual month, we're just going to leave that off. So when the seasons change, the visuals of that month will change with it. Now, if you want to leave this on, you can make it look like it's always August or always winter or always December, but the month that you're in will still apply. So it's up to you. Snow, it's preference. If you want to see the snowfall and see the icy roads, all that stuff, you can do that as well. Your crops growth, we're going to do crops destruction off. Periodic plowing, I'd like to turn this off for now. And then fieldstone, I'm going to turn that off, lime off, and weeds off. So I turn these off because when you first start off, you don't really have that much money. You can't afford a bunch of equipment right now to remove the stones, the weeds, and all that stuff. So, but I'll show you what to do with your starting fields that you start off with and how to really start your adventure here. So for now, we're just turning this off, and you can turn these on later in your game once you start to familiarize yourself, or maybe you expand to new farms and you want to add more, um, you know, more elements to farming. You can start turning these things back on. Dirt, this is dirt that accumulates on your machinery. I like to leave it on normal. Um, Automatic engine start, I leave all this kind of the same. Trailer fill limit, I like to turn this on so that once the trailer hits a maximum weight allowed, it'll just stop, meaning trailers can only be filled until the max allowing weight is reached. So I turn this on for my preference. Fuel usage, we'll just leave it at low. You can do normal if you want, or low. I just put it on low. Now this is important. UI workers, you're going to want to turn this off. And I like to leave these on, but it's also preference. If you're lazy and don't want to fill your seeders or your fertilizers, and you like to hire workers, and you just don't want to fill the seeds, you don't want to fill the fertilizer, that's understanding. But it will cost you more for that AI worker to buy these things as you do them. But in the end, you don't have to fill up your seeders. You don't have to fill up the fertilizer and the manure and stuff in your machines if you have an AI worker. But fuel is easy to fill up, and it consumes very little. That it would actually be a waste to even have this on with your AI worker. So we're gonna turn that off, and so we should have everything there, um, ready to go, and that completes pretty much everything in the game. So we're gonna go ahead and hit save in that game, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, and basically this field, we're gonna go into growth. So this field has already been harvested. This field here has already been cultivated, and this field here needs to be harvested as based on the colors here. So what I recommend doing is tabbing. If you hit tab, you can switch to any vehicle in your arsenal. So we got the truck, the Lizard pickup truck. We got our main top liner. We hit Q to attach attachments and Q to get rid of them. G will switch between attachments and so forth. Just use the control guide to, you know, use the thing. So you have to unfold it with X, and that basically will get it ready for, you know, harvesting. So I recommend the first thing you're going to want to do is just hire a worker, hit H, and just go ahead and plow through all this real quick. We're not going to be keeping it, so we don't really need to do anything much there. So just go ahead and start harvesting this field real quick. While that's being done, we have a little plow here. Or is this a cultivator? So the way you know what that is, you can go into P, which is our shop. And then here is where we'll look at the plows. So it's not one of those, so it must be a cultivator. Where's cultivator? Or we can see this with the house icon. This shows what we have, yeah. So this is like a little cultivator. So we're going to sell some stuff. We're going to sell some of the items that we have that are just not needed. As you can see at the top right here, we have $100,000 to start off with on easy. So we're going to attach that big weight, and we're going to move this guy over here. So we got this tractor, we got this truck here, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to sell this truck. It's not really needed. We don't need the truck. Now you can keep, so we get to attach this weight, attach this guy, and we're going to move this guy over here. Okay. And we're going to move everything over here basically. I'm just going to remove this. Okay. So we're going to keep these two tractors, these two green ones. The third tractor is optional. You can keep that third tractor, but in my opinion, it's not really a big deal. I would like to sell this tractor, and the tipper we'll keep for now. We'll use that tipper. We'll upgrade the tipper later. You can get a bigger tipper later down the road, but this is a tractor that, you know, 3 tractors is a little much for three fields. But I'm gonna show you a trick how to like really maximize everything and get the most out of your starting guide here. So we're basically grouping all this up, and when we hit escape, we can see our tools here. We'll zoom in as much as possible, and basically we're gonna reset with delete button. So reset everything, and then hit enter, and then hit OK. It's gonna go to the shop. The shop is down the street. It's on our left hand side. It's right here. Now I'm gonna show you a little trick here. So let me find the right stuff. Let me find this guy. We'll reset him. Um, this is a top liner. This thing is only to transport the header of of this thing. So the header is the thing that's cutting up the crops right now. That's all it's for. It's just gonna sit there and collect dust. It's kind of useless. So we're gonna go in there. We're gonna reset it back to the shop. And the reason we're doing this, I'll show you in a second. We're gonna reset that truck. So we have that one. We have this one. So we can change this to tools here. Is this the AI helper? I think this is active workers, yeah. So what else do we need to transfer here? Oh yeah, we can hit G to drop that off, that cultivator. I'm gonna move this guy over here. And we'll hit escape, and this little guy is gonna be reset as well. So, if we tab back, everything's over here. Isn't that cool? So, I'm going to show you something here. What you're going to want to do is grab all this stuff with this red tractor here that we reset. And the reason why we're doing this is because when we sell something, we want to sell it directly back to the shop because we will get more money out of it than just hitting P, going to the home button, clicking this, hitting enter, and then selling it directly. It's only worth 800. So let's see. The thing that I have right now is this cedar. So if I go here to the cedar, it's worth 26,672. So if I drop it off there, get out of my tractor, we're going to hit R, and now it's worth $29,000. So, and this is where you would repair, repaint, customize it, stuff like that. So we're just going to sell that. And boom, it adds to our total. And you're like, why are you selling your cedar? Why are you selling these things that we're going to need later on? But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something here. We're going to not need these. We're going to buy something better that will help us do these things all in one. So bear with me, there will be a reason for my madness here. So first we're going to drop that off. I'm going to go back. You can get multiple things in this square to sell. So I'm going to sell this too. It's just not needed. Sometimes easy mode is too easy sometimes. And they give you some useless stuff that you kind of don't need starting off with, you know. The reason this thing exists is because when you drive down the roads, maybe with traffic on, those headers are going to be too wide, and they can hit trees, they can hit signs, they can get stuck on stuff. So this makes it so transporting those headers down like narrow roads or narrow city blocks will be available, but we're not going anywhere for a while with that header. So it's staying on the tractor from pretty much the remainder of our playthrough. So we'll go ahead and put this tractor back in here. We'll park it here. Switch to the pickup truck. We're going to sell the truck here. Truck is okay. You can use the bed of the truck to transport stuff, but um, we're not transporting much of anything really. Oh, it has weird controls. Little delay on the gas pedal. Let's see if that works. So we hit R. Here's our list of things. So we're just gonna hit sell with enter. So we're gonna get 84,000 for that guy. We're gonna sell that, selling that, and selling that. So now we have $248,000 to really work with here, which is great. So we're gonna hit P again, and let's go back to our area. So this guy's done with his workload, and O will extend the arm out, and you can empty it into a tipper right here, but you don't always have to do that. You can just come straight over to our silo. This is the silo where your materials can go. You can put all materials in here. So it's no big deal if you have multiple crops growing and stuff like that. It all can go to one reservoir. It's not going to mix up or get confused or anything like that. So we're just going to dump and empty all this grain that was in here into the silo. And we can sell that directly if we want right now to get a little bit more starting cash. Or we can store it and just hold on to it for a little while. So this harvester is basically just going to be parked right here for now. And then, so this field has been harvested. But what we're going to want to do is, so these were harvested and this has been cultivated already, meaning it's ready to be planted. You can plant stuff into here. But go into your soil consumption. Plowing is this red stuff. So this field actually needs plowing. And if we take away the plowing, it also needs lime. If we take away the lime, it's just neutral. It's not even fertilized. And then weeds, there's no weeds. So as you can see, there's weeds in these fields, but these are not owned by us. So the little blue, when the numbers are white, um, they're not owned. If they're like this color, that means we own these three fields. Now, what I like to do is I like to combine this field with this field and make it all one. So when you hire a worker, your worker doesn't just go here, stop, turn around, go here, stop, turn around. It's going to go all the way down, turn around all the way down. So it makes it manageable. It makes it a lot manageable. So knowing about our soil consumption, so when we have these turned on, the first thing we got to do is plow, and then once that goes away, it'll tell us we need to lime, and then so forth. Now the reason why we're doing this, and we're only going to do it one time. We're only going to do this one time. And the reason, because remember in our options, we basically turned off periodic plowing. You know, stones are turned off, lime is turned off, weeds are turned off, crop, all these are basically turned off for now until we, get more land and expand a little bit. And once we get more familiarized with the game. So let me just give you a little quick tour real quick. So the house is here. The house allows you to go to sleep and fast forward the time of day to the next day. You can only start, the earliest is 5 and the latest is 9 a.m. in the morning. So that's how you fast forward through the months. This barn is just storage. It doesn't have really a use. Um, there's some cool features like you can open the doors up. There's a cool little cellar down here. You can come down here and play around with stuff like, ooh, a boot, like I can grab that and play around with it, you know. And then it has a little opening here so you can actually park your truck in there if you wanted to keep the truck, the lizard truck. And then we have another building here. This is useless building. It doesn't really have much use. And then this building here is our silo. This is where we collect all our stuff. Oh look, it even shows what's in the silo. Shows we have 4,601 liters of wheat in there. And that's cool. This building is kind of like a little shop, but you can't repair your vehicles here. You can't really do much with this. So, that being said, if you want, you can delete these. If you wish, you can just, let me back these up real quick. And I'm not sure if it'll warp the land, but let's see. I haven't really tried this. Now, you don't have to delete these buildings, for say, and always save before you do something major. So if we were to hold shift and hit P, we go into the buying of, buildings and animals and decorations and lights. We could place lights. We can add silos. We can add a cool house. These are all things, orchards. This is how you plant olives and grapes. These are money makers. These generate money on their own. You pay for an investment and you get a return on your investment. Basically, we're selling the energy, and it gives us $33 an hour. This is great. These are good things to just add to our area. So if we want, we can click on this building and we can sell this for $25,000. So let's just give it a whirl. I'm gonna sell it. Hit yes. Now it left a nice big freaking hole in the ground. So you're like, oh, let's landscape this. Let's level it out. How do we? We'll raise it. Okay, so this kind of warps everything. Warps the ground around it. What if we level it? That warps too. What about soften? Okay, so this is where we're gonna have to manipulate and raise and lower. So if you don't want to deal with this, you don't really have to. Let me get in here and see what I can do. So if we just kind of level this up and kind of level this up a little bit. I think right click, okay, left click raises. Left click raises, right click lowers. So if you want, you can just fill this in real quick. And kind of level that out, fill that in, fill that in. Fill that in, kind of lower that out. Kind of get a visualization of what you're going to do with this. And basically, I like to just remove these buildings because they literally just, let's soften that up. And then we'll level it out. And that's the best that we can really do here. We'll raise up a little bit more. And if you don't have to, you can skip this step if you want. You can skip all this up and, So it does have kind of a slope there, but we do have now a big opening. So if you want, you can add different production stuff. like bees. If you want to go into bees, you can add stuff like this. Um, if you want to have a little doghouse in here, you can. We can also just have like a nice shed here that's not so expensive. Let's see. This one's only 24 grand, but damn. 10,000 for something like this. So this is something you can use to store stuff, but it's kind of big, you know. Those things are kind of big. We can add something to repair. So this vehicle workshop would be perfect. Like I would say get a workshop for 45 grand. This is gonna be easy access for repairs. But like I said, the shop is just down the street, so you don't really need to do this. So if you say you screwed up, oh man, I fucked it up. I don't like the way it looks. No big deal. Go in here, don't save the game, hit quit game, go back to career, go back to my save game in here. And what we're going to do here is wait for that to load. It's taking its sweet time. And we're on Elm Creek, by the way. So if you're on a different map, um, you know, it still applies, you know. So look, no harm done. We didn't fuck up anything. We're still good. So that's if you want to delete buildings or remove things and kind of, you know, you can remove this building and I think that building. I don't think you can remove that one over there. So if you want to spend your time removing those things, they're kind of useless things, but they're kind of decorative. You know, they kind of just add an atmosphere to your farm. But if you want to be more productive and have more room, you can also do that as well and remove those. So back to the soil consumption we were talking about. We need to prepare these fields so that the fields are, you know, we maximize our growth for our fields. And I recommend we're going to be planting canola, and that's probably one of the best um, selling points than like barley and wheat and other stuff. So there's a lot of stuff we can make, you know, a lot of stuff. So I like to go right into canola right off the bat. It's easy to grow, it's easy to maintain, it makes you a good amount of money. So the first thing we're gonna do, hit P, and we're gonna buy some stuff. So definitely need a plow. So we're just gonna get a simple plow here. Um, Nothing too crazy. Nothing too big either. So we're just gonna get a simple one. This one's 3.5 meters, 4.9, that's 6. Let's go with the let's go with this one, and you can go in here and hit enter. You're not buying it, you're just looking at it. It's like, yeah, this one will do, I guess. So we can lease it. Instead of buying it straight up, we can actually lease an item. And it only costs us a small chunk of change to lease it. So we'll lease a plow, definitely. And then we'll also need a roller. A roller is going to help us with rocks and other things. So I'm gonna hold off on that just yet for now. There might be some rocks in one of our fields here. This field over here might have some rocks, so we're gonna hold off on that. The one thing you're gonna want to buy right off the bat, what I recommend, is this cedar here. We're gonna buy this one, this C6F. It's 109,500 bucks. This machine will not only seed your crops, but it will also cultivate it and it will also fertilize all at the same time. So you're actually removing two pieces of equipment. So you're basically got the cultivator, the seeder, and the fertilizer all in once. So this is great. You can spend um an extra 20 grand and get one that covers a much larger field. Well, actually, no, it's the same. What's the difference? I guess it just holds more. Yeah, so it just holds more. This is the engine requirement, the 210 horsepower. So this one requires a more stronger horsepower, and so forth. So we're just gonna get this one for now. We're gonna hit enter and we're gonna buy that. We're just gonna buy it for the exact money so we own it. Because we're gonna be using this all the time, bro. All the time. So that's great. Now what we want to get is a sprayer. Now, the first one is just a tank. This goes on the front of the tractor, and this is the actual sprayer with its own tank that goes on the back of the tractor. Now, you don't have to get this one. I would just recommend buying this one. So we're going to buy that and hit enter and hit purchase. Now we have $102,000 left, so we're still doing good. Another thing that we're going to need is this fertilizer spreader. This is for the lime. This is straight up for lime. And you want to look at these icons. This one only does solid fertilizer. This one does solid fertilizer and lime. This one only does solid fertilizer. This one does solid fertilizer and lime. So we want this one strictly for the lime. And we're only going to do this one time. So we're going to go hit enter and we're just going to lease it. So hit spacebar to lease this item. And we're going to lease it for $2,000 and 295 bucks, right? So we're going to lease that because we're just going to return it when we're done. So that's there. And I think that's all we really need for now on equipment. So I got these, I got that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit escape. We're going to grab this tractor. And we're going to hit reset. And we're going to transfer this over here. So these are our items. So what we can do is we can probably attach one of these to the front. So I attach that to the front. And we'll come here and we'll attach this to the back. Boom. And now we're going to take it back to our farm. Actually, what we want to do, hit P, and these are the little crate. Pallets. So we're going to buy some liquid fertilizer here. Let's go ahead and buy one of these. Liquid fertilizer. And then we want lime. Now you can buy some seed too while you're at it. You can buy this seed, definitely, if you would like. There's also solid fertilizer that you can put into. So the liquid fertilizer is going to go into this guy right here. The lime is going to go into this. Now you can buy seed and solid fertilizer for this guy if you want, but we're going to skip that because I usually hire a worker to buy and do the field for me. So we're going to go ahead and back that up a little bit. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to fill this guy up. And you'll see refill sprayer at the controls top left with R. Hit R and watch the liquid fill up in there. So boom, we have 1,200 liters full, and we haven't used up the rest of that. So we can just leave that there, and whenever we get empty, we can reset the machine and the tractor, refill the machine, and go back to the farm if we need to. So that'll just stay there. We're gonna hit P, go to big bad bags, and we're gonna get this lime here. Um, Wondering if there's bigger pallets of lime. Yeah, so this one's 2,000 liters. So if you get this one, it costs more money. It's because you can, I think, transfer it with a pallet or or like a forklift, basically. I think the bags are just they sit there. I don't think you can grab them, but I'm not sure about that. They're cheaper and they cost and they're the same amount. So we'll go ahead and buy one of those and see how big we fill that up. Where did that go? There it is. So it's sitting right there. And I'm going to refill this fertilizer spreader with lime. Okay, I'm going to buy another bag of lime. Hit R. It's filling up more. We're going to need the lime. It uses a lot. It uses a lot of lime. So, yeah, maybe another bag too. Maybe another bag. Fill that up. I want to get at least 50% or more. That should be good. That should be a good amount of lime. Yeah, that should be good. So now that we got our fertilizer and our lime, we're going to take this back to the shop. If you hit the home key on this tractor, you can do your strobe lights. Kind of fun. F will turn on the other lights and cycle through that. C will go to first person mode and so forth. Mouse wheel zooms in, zooms out, so forth. So let's get back to our shop here, our farm. We also have another farmer here who's our neighbor. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and bring all this back. Let's go ahead and drop off. We'll hit G to drop off that guy. And then we'll come over here. And we'll just drop off this guy. Alrighty. And then we'll hit escape. And we'll reset that guy back to the shop. Boom. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to load up the plow. Ooh, it's heavy. This is a heavy guy. Ooh, he's heavy. We'll balance it out once we get the this. I should have got this care. Let's get rid of that. Let's get this first. Boom. So we're gonna need a weight in the front when we use this plow. So I'm thinking that should stabilize the tractor as we go. Maybe I bought the wrong plow. Let me just double check real quick. Because there is a warning on some of these plows that you need to have a... Oh, wheel weights are recommended. So I think that's the problem we did. Wheel weights. wheel weight. I think it just means one of these weights, which we do have. We have weights. Yeah. Some of these are going to be real heavy, so... So we got our nice little seeder. We got our plow. We are ready to go almost. So now we have all the equipment that we need. Now, like I said, you can fill this up with the soil and the seed if you need to. And seed is universal. Doesn't matter. You don't have to buy a specific seed. All seed works with all the grains basically. So we're coming in here. And this is all the equipment you basically need for now. I'm gonna see if we need to, but so first we're gonna do is we're gonna drop this guy off. Okay. Ooh, doing a wheelie. Drop him off. Alright, let's grab our weight. See if this works. Not sure if this weight will work for what we need it for. Alright, we'll grab that weight. Hopefully this weight is, if it's too much, we might have to get something else here. Alright, we're attached. Alright, it's a little wobbly, but it's moving. So we're going to do the small field first. We're going to plow this small field. Now it says to fold the plow, so we can fold it, which means it's more stable if it's centered, you know, when we're driving it around, transporting it. So what we'll do is we'll pull up, at least have your tires touching the field. Sometimes if you're too far back, it'll say something like this. Or, sorry, let me back up a little more. It might say something like, no field found. It's because you're too far away. You need to just kind of move up there and... See how it's not working now? So what we'll do is we'll pack it up. Let me get a little bit closer here. There we go. Hit H. Oh, it's still, yeah, it's still saying that error, so that's okay. There we go. Just have to get a little closer, that's all. So now it's going to plow this field. We're looking for stones, if stones will show up here. I don't think any stones will show up since we turned them off. Yeah, the stones are not showing up, so I think we're good. Yeah. And this worker will just do nice, perfect, straight lines for us. Boom. Pretty efficient in my book. So this is plowing the field. Now if we go to a soil consumption, as you can see, the red for plowing is going away. And now what we need to do is lime the field. And we're pretty much done with that field once we lime it. And then it will have the most efficient yield from your product. When you start cultivating and growing it, and then once you harvest it, you will get a lot more from your harvest. So this is why we want to start off just doing this, the initial plow, the lime, get rid of that stuff. And you want to turn off, again, sorry to repeat myself, but you want to turn off this, the field stone. If you plow while this is on, there's gonna be rocks showing up in this field. Same if you try to cultivate it. If you cultivate it, rocks will show up in the field. So don't do anything yet until you get the plow and start plowing everything. I'm gonna take a look at the other field. We could just run over there, and shift will make us run faster. You can also jump. So let me look at this field. This field has no rocks that I can see. You'll start seeing little rocks pop up. So whoever did this field cultivated it and didn't have any rocks show up in this one. So this one just needs a plow and some lime, and it's good to go. Same with that field. There shouldn't be any rocks when we plow it again. So the worker's gonna do its thing. So go ahead and plow both these fields, all three of these fields, and then well, I'll come back when everything is done. Alrighty, so our worker just got done with this field. We're gonna move over to this field. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna combine these two fields together. And the way that we do that is there's a thing on the controls, Y, allow create fields. When we hit Y, basically the plow will make fields, make new fields on the property that you own. So you can technically make new fields anywhere as long as you own that property. Um, so be careful here. You're gonna want to save just in case you screw up. You know, some people are like OCD and stuff, and so you're gonna want to just kind of we're gonna combine these two fields together. So we're gonna do this kind of manually, and it's gonna be a little bit of a tricky. It's gonna be a little tricky here. So this field isn't lined up with that field like at all. The field in front of me is a little bit slightly over to the left. The field behind me is a little bit slightly over to the right. So we're not going to get like a perfect straight line. So just be careful when you create new fields that it's really difficult to use these plows and to get a nice straight line. So about right there should be like okay. Again, we'll hit another save. And we're going to lower it, and that basically starts the field processing. So we're just going to go slow. Might need to turn a little bit. Okay, so it's making a new field in between these two fields. Lift it up. So it's not too bad, but it's not the greatest. You know, we kind of screwed up a little bit right there. It kind of missed a little spot right here. But that's not really gonna matter too much. I mean, our worker will be able to trim up that section pretty good, not too much. So we're just gonna leave that how it is. I think I did a pretty good job on that first pass. So if you're happy with your results, just come back over to this area. Uh, B will rotate the plow a different way. It'll rotate it from the other side. So I like doing it like this. And this one is straight. This one is actually lined up with this one. So this one is the part where we can't really screw up too much on. So I'm just going to line it up the best I can to create this new field. I think about right there should be good. Hit escape and spacebar to save. And then we're going to lower the plow. And we're going to take off. And stop. A little bit further. Okay, right there. Hit V to raise it up. I think we did a good job. Look at that. So the edges are really the most important, and after that, just keep filling in the section until you're done. So always save before you go and do another one, another pass, and just keep doing this process until this middle section is all filled up. And so when this all fills up, I'll resume the video and show you the results. Alrighty, it didn't take much time to do. So I did two full passes here on the side, two full passes there on that side, and then I did three passes long ways. So I just went up and down this way to fill in this gaps. Now you know you did it right when you hit escape and you look at the field. Here, let's get rid of the tractor and back it up a little bit more because icons are kind of big on the map. So we'll back it up a little bit so we can see our progress on the map. So this is the plowed icon. As you can see, we have connected the two by these two. So if you see any color lines or lines that did not get filled in, you'll know it right here. You'll see it here. So we know that these are all connected. So now we're just going to hire a worker to plow the whole thing. And what you're going to want to do is you want to hit Y and limit to fields. So as long as it says allow to create fields, that means you're limiting it to the other fields, meaning you're not going to make a new field by accident. If you leave this on like this, if you have it on like this, and you start your worker to plow this field, it's going to go up on the grass and start making new fields, and it's going to look really messy. So before you do this and set up your worker to do this, um, go ahead and get it all lined up. So we're going to line her up like this. And I'll line her up about where the wheel's kind of going off of it a little bit, like that. Then we're going to save our game. Perfect. And now we're going to hit H. So watch, when the plow hits the ground right here, oh wait, he needs to go a little bit closer. So when he's ready to go, if you start seeing plow into the grass, that means you messed it up. Reload your game and you can get it fixed. So if we've done this right, what's going to happen is the worker should just keep going. But what might happen is it might stop itself where I plowed already because the AI is like, oh, I've reached, I've already plowed this. This is, we're done. So if that happens, no big deal. Yeah, so just what I thought was going to happen. Hit H to stop the worker. And that's okay. So what we're probably gonna have to do is just let it do its thing. So we're just gonna start it from this end then. How about that? We'll start it from here. And this is no big deal. We're just gonna have to do it from this side of the field and then to the other side of the field, basically. Really want to line this up really good. Alrighty. Hit H to start that worker. No field found. Okay. What the heck? Sometimes this happens, and you're just gonna have to finesse it. I don't know why it's doing that. Worker doesn't want to plow the field for some reason. Let's fold up the device. I don't know why it's doing that. Alright, so if that happens, what we can do is we can just approach from a different angle. And maybe that'll fix it. It's probably just an angle problem. And this will happen sometimes. I don't know why it does this, but it's quite annoying, isn't it? So we'll hit H. No, it doesn't want to do that. Yeah, it does not want to do that, doesn't it? What if we hit V and just keep it going here? What if we hit H now? Nope. Alright, so I don't get it. We're just gonna plow this field manually, it looks like. So, yeah, basically just plow everything. Make sure everything gets plowed. And then I'll check in with you later, or you can pause the video to now and do your fields. Basically, just go over and plow the fields and get that ready. Let me hit H on this field. So it works on this field. But we kind of screwed up the alignment a little bit, so I'm going to have to make that pass later. But I have the worker working on this one right now. As you can see, our money's going down. I'm not pressing any buttons. So once you got that all done, come back and watch the video after that. Alrighty, that took a while, didn't it? So, if we look on our map, everything got plowed except for these little two spots. I think I missed two little spots here. Let me find where those are at, and you can just guide yourself and see where we missed those. I think they're like right here in the corner here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and drop the plow like about right here. So the unfortunate thing is I had to manually plow this field here, which is like no big deal. If you know how to plow, you're basically your guideline is the weight with that little line in the middle, and you're just going to use that as your guideline. So we're just going to go over that real quick. And there we go. So you know you did it right when everything is the same color. And there's no, you know. So if we get rid of plowed, so we did miss this section here, it looks like. It's saying it's harvested. No, what is that? Cultivated? Yeah. So I guess we missed this little section here. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna clean up those little sections. So you want to turn off. You're just gonna turn off, you know, the cultivated and all that stuff, and you're gonna look for these lines you missed, so that everything just lines up okay. So I'm just gonna do another pass, just on the edges here. And you might notice the tractor speeding up, then slowing down, speeding up and slowing down. That's because I think we don't have the horsepower for this guy here, this plow. So it should have, yep. I got rid of that sucker right up. Okay, so once you got all that done, so like I said, I was able to add the worker to this field, 45, and I had to manually plow 46. It can be a pain in the butt, but just take your time. Use the weight in the front as your guideline. Don't use the wheel for the plow as your guideline. Use the weight and then follow these lines on the in the field. Like just kind of go over it like that. Follow that line and just drive straight and use your weight as the guideline and keep it straight in the middle of that guideline. And you should be good to go. So now that we got all the fields, you know, plowed up, we basically don't need the plow anymore, because we have periodic plowing off. So we're basically going to turn off. Alright, we're going to do all that. Okay, and then soil consumption. Now, if we look at soil consumption, now it just needs lime. So what we'll do here, we're going to drop that off there because we don't need it now. And now we're just going to go into the lime process. And the liming is basically going to help us with improved yield when we go to harvest. So let's hook up our little bucket here, and you can hire a worker to do this, or you can just do it yourself. I'm just going to do it myself. It's not too bad. So it's B to turn on the spreader. And we're just going to do a pass like this. Look how much it's going down. I think it's going down pretty good. Stop. Reverse. Turn around. Well, right here should be good. Hit B. 3 for auto. And we're just going to line this up, and it should look like this. Turn that off, and then if we look, as you can see, it should have this neutral look. You know, so there's no weeds. It's not fertilized, so it's just a field that hasn't been fertilized. And that's just what we're going to do on all the fields. So basically, when you got this field and that field done, hit pause, resume the video when you're ready to go. I'll see you in soon. Alrighty, we got everything limed up. Should look like this. Make sure you get all the sections here. So it looks like some of this got, what is it, fertilized? Yeah. So some of this is fertilized, which is fine. It's in the first fertilization, so that's no big deal. That's fine. But as long as we don't see the plowing or any of that other stuff, we should be good. So what we can do here is we can basically just drop these off at the store. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, we'll reset this tractor so we can move it. Reset that, and we're going to need our weight too. Okay, so now we switch over to here. And when you reset a tool, it empties it, so be careful. Let me get my weight first. So whenever you reset like a tank or anything like this, it will empty it, so careful when resetting stuff if you just filled them up. We're gonna bring this over. We're gonna drag it over, and the reason that we're doing this, even though we lease these items, I do think we get some sort of less, I don't think it's a less penalty or something, but I do this with all vehicles and tools and equipment. You know, saving a little bit of money here and there. You can also just manually do it from the menu if you don't wish to do this. It's always an option. Alright, so that's dropped off. We basically don't need those anymore. So we returned them. Return. Alright, so now that isn't sucking up money from us. Let's head back to town. Or not town. Let's head back to our farm. Back at the farm. So what we're gonna do now is that we are gonna fertilize this soil for crop soil consumption, so that it's all fertilized. We get more yield, and that's what the sprayer comes in. Here we go. So we got the sprayer here. I think it hooks up like this. I think it hooks up like this. Yeah. We reverse back into this. Booyah. Alrighty, we're gonna extend it now. And you don't have to lower it. You can lower it as much as you want, so let it extend fully. One more extension there. Well, let's back it up and let it So we can do this, we can lower it up, we can lower it down. It depends on like your terrain. Maybe you have to clear something out of your way. So if there was something in your way, you can actually go up to that maximum height. Or if you want to just get it nice and low, you can too. But right here is about, in the middle is about good. And that's holding left click and going up and down with the mouse. Same way you would operate a forklift in this game as well, and other forestry equipment. So we're going to hit B to turn on the sprayer, and we're just going to drive this over the field. And you should see that lime kind of go away, which basically means uh, we're fertilizing. It's kind of like a good guideline. We're going to turn and turn again. And we're just going to get all that lime sucked up. Now you're probably wondering, oh, you just removed the lime. No. No, we're good. We're good. So if we look at the soil consumption, turn off fertilization, it doesn't need lime because we've already done it, so we're good. Now we're in the first phase of fertilization. It should show about, what, 50%? So we're at 50% fertilization. We want to get to 100%. So I'll show you that after we finish our 50% on the other fields now. Fold in your little thing so you can fit, and once you can fit, just hit X again to fold them back out. You're going to come back over here, and you will be using the sprayer almost every time before you plant. So before you plant, you always want to fertilize the soil before you plant. So we're using the sprayer. You can use physical or solid uh, fertilization, or you can use manure or slurry, um, and all that stuff. But we're just going to use the spray. I like the spray. It's easy. It's fun to use. You don't have to really go crazy with it or anything. It's awesome. I love it. A little bumpy here. That's okay. And as you can see, we're getting that fertilization going. So this is already in the second phase of fertilization. We'll back up and we'll turn this way. Hit B, and that back on. And we'll spray the other side. We got freshly plowed, freshly limed. Now we got the first stage fertilization going. Alrighty. So we'll fold that up. We're done with that for the grow season. Awesome. And we'll drop this off with the with this tractor. That tractor will be kind of in charge of all the fertilization, and this tractor will be like what we mainly use it for. Alrighty, so oh whoops, I got rid of my weight. Let me back this up correctly. Yeah, we had to line it up a little bit better. Alrighty, so we're gonna go up to the first one here, and we're gonna unfold it with X. And we're gonna line this up just the best we can here. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit, it's no big deal. Okay. That should be good. About right there. Now, go ahead and save your game because I haven't saved in a while. So, we're going to talk more about the calendar, crop calendar. So, we're doing canola. Canola, the planting season is this color and the harvest season is this color. So, when we do canola, it's going to be these two. So, we have to plant in August or September. So we have August or September to plant our crop. Now, it's going to take a whole year for canola to get growing, and then in July, that's when we're going to harvest. We're going to harvest in July. Now, if we come here to the finances, canola, these are the places that are buying the canola straight up. If we hit spacebar, these seasonal fluctuations will tell you that it peaks higher in December. But I want you to know that this is going to be a little different, so listen up. So actually you want to start selling closer to the end of November going into December, because once it gets into December, it's going to go down, and then by the time it hits January, it should be at this level. Then it should go down as we're going into February, and at the beginning of February, it'll be down here. So this is actually at the beginning of December. The beginning of December. So if I start the day, remember a day, 24 hours is a whole month. So if I start a day at 5 in the morning on December, it's already going down in price. So technically in about 9 a.m. of um, about 9 a.m. for November is when we kind of want to sell before the prices start dropping dramatically on us, okay? So just reverse everything. So the prices will go up in July and keep going up, and then they start going down in December. So just reverse this basically. Just kind of go, oh, this is this, and this is going to be this, and this is going to be this, this is going to be this. So this line just means the beginning of December, the beginning, like 12 a.m. December, it's going to peak right here. So this is what I like about seasonal, the crop calendar, is that your prices are kind of fixed in a certain month so you can maximize your yields. Now if you turn off in the options, turn off the seasonal, um, the seasonal growth, basically the calendar will just disappear. See that? So that calendar basically just turns away. So just for the sake, we're just going to do seasonal growth for now. So we already are in August. It's about 9 a.m. right now. So by the time we get pretty much done at this stage, we should start uh, filling up with canola. So canola is going to sell very more profitable than wheat or barley and everything else, and it's a good time to harvest, and it's in the middle of the summer, so there's not that much rain or anything. So we're going to go back to the map. Now we're going to look at the soil consumption. And if we go back, here's the growth. We haven't planted anything, so we're still in this first fertilizations part. Now this machine will cultivate the field, so it's already in plow mode. And basically, if you didn't have this machine, you would have to cultivate this machine or cultivate this field. Then you would have to seed the field. Then you would have to spray it again to, you know, and do that. But this machine will do all three at once. I love it. I love it. So what we're going to do is hit Y, and as you can see, it changes from oats to canola, soybeans, oilseed radish, grass, sorghum, or whatever that is, wheat, and back to barley, oat, and then we're going to select canola, for sure canola. Now, I don't have any seeds or solid fertilizer in this machine, but in the options, like we said, we turned off we basically turned off fuel, so it's going to use the fuel, the AI worker, but the AI worker is just going to buy the seeds, it's going to buy the fertilizer. Alrighty, so hit H, and your worker, even though there's nothing in the machine, your worker is just going to do the job and purchase the stuff as we go. Now if you see any rocks at this point, you just didn't turn off the rocks in your settings, and so you're gonna have to buy or just lease a roller. A roller is going to take the small rocks and push them down into the dirt. And if you have any bigger rocks left over after you do the rolling, if anything other rocks are left over, those are the bigger rocks. You're going to need a stone picker, and this is going to pick up the bigger rocks for you. So, and we turned off weeds, so we don't have to spray pesticides or grab any weed grabbers or anything like that, because the more steps we have to do in the harvest and the planting, and the more equipment we're going to need. So it just gets too crazy at the start. So we turn all of that off and we turn it on as we get more equipment. Like, ooh, I can afford a weeder. So maybe I'll turn on weeds now and I'll learn how to weed, and I'll keep my farm looking nice with the weeds. Or, I'll turn on stone, so every time I do this little cultivate run, I have to grab all the stones out of it. I'll get a roller or something and roll the stones out of my shit. So this is looking pretty good. So basically, just go ahead and do all these fields. Um, let's go back to the soil consumption. So the even though we're adding fertilizer to this field, um, it's not giving us it's not giving us 100%. See, we're still on 50%. So I'm gonna show you what to do to get to 100% here. Meanwhile, while the worker's doing its thing, hit Shift P, and we're gonna go into animals, and we're gonna go to bees. Now when we click on this beehive here, it says it's basically 10 hives. Beehives produce honey. It will be placed at centralized locations where it has to be bought and placed separately. So this is a centralized location. And basically the bees will produce honey, and wherever you put this down, anywhere, you could put your beehives anywhere you want on the map, and put this guy anywhere on the map that you own land, that is. And it will create pallets with little jars of honey you can sell to stores. Um, it's not very profitable unless you have a mass production of bees and you're creating a lot of crates really fast. The only thing that sucks about it is that it only creates one pallet at a time. So if once it finishes a pallet, it can't make another pallet until you remove that pallet from the loading dock, and then it can create another pallet. So you're basically, if you're not on a forklift, moving it around, you're gonna have to buy a forklift. You're gonna have to buy a trailer and sell it. So I only recommend the beehives for your crops. It's going to pollinate your crops. It's going to give you a little boost, slight boost, not a big boost, but a slight boost to your crop yield. The 1200 or 12,500 one, I think is. What if we do this? Oops, did I place it? No. So, not sure if there's a certain size or. So the worker just completed his job. That's okay. So there's these ones. There's these little ones. And I think it's based on range. I think these are 100 and these are 150. And I think some of these are like just 50, 25, and maybe 15. I don't know, something like that. So we're just going to take one of these medium ones. And I like to put it like kind of over here off to the side. Hold right click to rotate it and kind of just place it where you want your bees to kind of chill out. And that should really cover this field quite a bit. It should cover that field. Now, once you place it, you cannot undo it. You have to delete it. And if you demolish something, you get less money back from it. So we would lose half our money. So as you can see, I kind of made it crooked. No big deal. If you're OCD, you might want to delete that and fix it, but I'm not losing 6 grand for that little mistake. So just be careful when you're placing these, and don't place them somewhere like here, because then your workers will bump into them. Don't place them too close to the crops, then your headers might accidentally bump into them and stuff like that. So I like to just place one right here, and we'll make that as straight as possible. So I have, whoops, it says overlay. Let me straighten that out. About right there should be good. That should cover about this section of the field, and I'll put one down here. I usually put one like off into the bushes here. Boom. So that should cover majority of it. We could put one in this corner here. Um, you know, somewhere like right here, if we want. But as you can see, they're 12 grand, so we're already at 57. I think we're good. I'm not sure how many you need, but I think it's just a range area. You know, this area and then this area should be covered. I think this area might not be covered, this little section here, but that's okay. It might be covered a little bit here. I know this would be covered. So, that's bees for you right there. You could go into chickens, but like I said, you're going to need a... You should keep the pickup truck and load up your eggs in your pickup truck. You're going to have to feed them with grain. So, you know, don't go into the livestock until later in the game, basically. Once you have more equipment, multiple fields, etc., etc. Let's see how we did on that. Pretty good. Let's go to growth, and that's in growth stage. So let's go ahead and do this field. Little deer in my yard. Run, little deer, run! Alright, so let's do this field now. It should just do the entire field without a hiccup. I mean, we shouldn't have any problems. It should go all the way down the line. So we'll do a pass, and we'll see if it reaches to the end, or does it stop where our field ended, or does it keep going? It should just keep going. Those crows came out of nowhere. So it's yeah, it's doing its thing. So here's growth. We're doing more growth. Yeah, so it's going all the way to the end. Um, and there it goes. And we have enough room for the AI worker to turn around and line her up again. And it's just going to keep doing this until we're done. So go ahead and pause the video here and just finish what you're doing. Finish, you know, seeding and getting this all ready to go. And then we'll fast forward from here so the video is not too long for you. Alrighty, so our worker has finished our job. Everything's planted and ready to go. So I'm going to show you the next step on to get that 100% fertilization. We reverse this guy next to the wall, but right next to this barn here. Oh, I screwed it up, like always. Still getting my training wheels off tomorrow. Alrighty, so that's done. Now what you want to do is just save the game. Always save the game, just in case. Alright? So we're going to come over here to our house. Now you can, let me show you something. You can always teleport to anything you want. So the house, teleport. Click on the house, hit spacebar. If I want to visit that gas station, I can visit this gas station. If I want to visit this little water tank, I can't visit the water tank. But if I want to visit the bakery, I can visit the bakery. And so forth, okay? So, this is like a fast travel thing. So now we're in August. We have seasonal growth on. We're only at 50% fertilization. So it's growing canola, 50% fertilization. Now we need to show some growth here, and then we can fertilize again for 100%. So let's speed up a little bit of time, and we're gonna do, let's do 8 a.m. Let's hit enter, and you're gonna see a day and night cycle kind of fast forward through the days. This is the only part that I don't really like about the seasonal growth is the fast forwarding. So now we're in September. As you can see, it's a little bit more cloudy. The trees are a little bit more darker, you know, and we have some growth here. So if we look at the growth, we're in the next stage of growth here. So this will be a good time and to uh, do another pass with the sprayer. Let's jump into this truck. Grab our sprayer here. Oh wait, we're gonna use this guy for the sprayer. That's right, he's the designated sprayer. So he doesn't have any fancy lights above his truck, but it gets the job done. So once you start seeing stuff pop up, that's when you should go and spray. Now you won't be able to see a visual indicator of where you've sprayed, but as long as you just keep it in a straight line, you should be okay. The only visualization we're gonna have is going to be the soil consumption with the fertilization. It should go from this blue color to this purpley color, whatever, you know. So hit B, turn it on, let's make our pass. And as you can see, there's really no indicator where I've already been. I mean, there's a slight color difference, slight color, not really. So we're just gonna spray this field up. Up and down the crops. We can hit escape and see how it's changing color as we go. So that's kind of how you know if you've missed a spot. I missed like a little spot right there. I think with some lime or whatever. I think it's lime. Yeah, I missed a tiny little square there. That's alright. So this is going. Once we reach the end, we're going to do the same thing. Hit B to turn it off. Back it up like this. Hit B. And we're going to drive on through. Alrighty. Pulled her back up. And we can just kind of drop you off. We'll just leave you with him like this. Boom. Alright, so if we hit escape, we're now into that next fertilization state of 100%. So this is now a pretty much, this yield's gonna be really high when we go to harvest. So we're good to go. So basically that's pretty much it. We'll fast forward to July. So get into July. Also, save that game. You know, save your game before you fast forward. Sometimes you can accidentally skip your harvest day. You know, I've done it before, or sometimes I wanted to go plant. I skipped ahead too much and I messed that up. So just save your game just in case. And we'll just go 9 a.m. We'll go to sleep. Whoops. We only fast forward an hour. There we go. Boom. So our canola should look like this color now. That means it's ready for harvest. It even says that right there at the bottom right, growth, ready to harvest. So, go ahead and save your game. So basically if we untab the growth stage, it's solid on that harvest. So go ahead and save the game, like I said, just in case something happens. And we're gonna harvest all these goodies. Now I usually hire a worker to do this, but you can do it manually. It's no big deal. Line it up a little bit better. Yeah, about right there should be good. Hit H, hire that worker, and we're gonna be filling this up. Now, don't worry about the sprayer spraying all this stuff on the ground. I think what this is called tillage, and it helps. I think it's kind of like mulching. So I think this stuff actually helps with the growth of the next yield that we're gonna have. So keep this. We'll spray over this. We're not gonna plow again or anything like that. We're basically just gonna fertilize right after this. Because if we look at the soil consumption here, see, it's harvest, it's getting harvest up. If we go to soil consumption, it's basically the fertilization, um, it just needs to get fertilized again, basically. So it doesn't need plowing and it doesn't need lime. So we turn off that, turn off this. So you can see that there's no weeds or anything like that. So it's gonna do its thing, and basically when this whole field's done, you should have your top liner harvester should be at about 80% or above, almost full, and then you're just gonna unload it into the silo directly, finish the next field, and then we're gonna go into the fertilization stage. And so next month it's gonna rain. So as you can see at the top where the so it's like a sunny icon, that's today. The next icon next to it is a rain cloud. So we do not want to harvest during a rain cloud. We'll get, I think, less yield if we're harvesting while it's raining. So that's why I say save, always save, because um, you might accidentally skip July and go into August, which is still, August is still fine for harvesting, but it's gonna rain next month in August. And August is gonna be planting season, so we're gonna be planting canola again in August. So we might need to plant in September to skip the rain, maybe. So we don't want to do things when it's raining. It just makes it not a good time. So once all this is done, pause the video, come back to it once you've had all these fields finished, and everything's in the silo. I'll show you what the next step is. Alrighty, our worker has finished this field. As you can see at the bottom, we have 89% capacity from just this one field. We produced 76,061 liters of canola. That's a good yield. I'm not gonna lie. Plus we have another patch over here. And this is how I just like to unload directly into the silo. There we go. And then the next stage after we set up the next yield for the next harvest, or we start planting in August the next month, or we might even plant in September because of the rain. I'll show you how to sell your canola later in the video, and then after that, um, you'll pretty much be done. We'll pretty much be done with the video after that. So let me get this field out of the way, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we have finished this field. We have produced another 19,731 liters of canola. We filled our harvester up to 23% capacity. So we got a pretty good yield out of this, I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and dump that in the silo for now. Empty that out. Bring the boom in. And I usually just park it up in this garage area. You just have to watch out for the slits in the ground. And the way you can do that is just kind of back it up like this basically. And you're pretty much good to go with that. Fertilization. So next what we're going to do is we're going to fertilize. So we don't need to do any of the other steps we did before, which is plowing or cultivating or any of that. We don't have to do none of that. We just have to fertilize and then seed for the next harvest. So let's get our stuff ready. Hit B. And as you can see, that stuff is going away as we spray the field. Now I don't know exactly what this stuff is that's on the field right now. I'm not sure if it's like mulched trimmings or something, but I do think it does help the yield on the next harvest. So we might actually get a bigger harvest next harvest than we did this harvest. Possibly. I'm not exactly sure on that. but doesn't hurt to be optimistic. So I'll go ahead and go on this side here. Oop, kind of too much over there. Let's go about right here. Alright, let's start her up. Let's get down the field. Boom. We'll reverse it. Alrighty. Turn on the sprayer. So we're at about 15% on this fertilizer, so we might have to go back and get some more later on. So you just keep that in mind. Did I already spray this field? Oh, I'm stupid. I already sprayed this field, guys. My bad. I totally forgot that we already did that. Alrighty, so we pretty much are done with spraying. Cool. And we'll just kind of park you inside. Boop. Alrighty, so now we should get ready for harvest. Or not harvest, seeding. Planting for the next harvest. So here we go. We're in July. Let's unfold this. We're going to fast forward to August. If we see rain, we're not going to do nothing. Okay. So we'll hit escape. Go back to the house. We're going to save it just in case. And we'll do 8 a.m. the next day. So there's the rain. Then it went away. At nighttime. Now it's daytime. And we'll see if any rain drops on us. So, nope. We're in sunny. It's all sunny right now. The rain has passed. So we're good. So it's still on for our canola. So we're gonna keep doing canola for this field. We're gonna keep doing that. And as you can see, it's leaving behind this little stuff on the ground now. Before it didn't do that, right? So I think when we did the canola, it left behind that little tillage or whatever it's called. And our little machine is actually kind of like using that to, fertilize further. I think it was mulching. Mulching can improve yield. So if we look at our soil consumption, it's now going into second phase. When before, when we were doing this, we had to wait for the field we had to wait for one of the growth stages to go further into growth. And once we saw plants, then we can spray the field to get that 100%. But now we don't have to do that. We don't have to spray again during the growth stage. We're just reusing all that stuff that's in there. So all that, I think that's all mulched stuff, basically. And that's going to help us with yield as well. Like if I go and I spray this with my sprayer, it won't change color, it won't do nothing. We could do another spray during one of the growth stages, any of the growth stages that is, if we really wanted to. You don't have to, but if you want to compare to how much we got that first run and the second one, if we spray the second time, we could do that. And basically, we're just going to keep doing this, and I'll resume the video when we are finished with both fields. Alrighty, so we are done seeding. The soil's looking good, so let's go ahead and drop that off. And then while we wait for this to grow, we are going to fill up our tipper here with some canola and sell it to the highest bidder. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the bigger tipper. So we have the extra money, so we're going to go in here and is it this one? No. Here we go. Reset that tool. Reset that. Reset that. Okay. Let's back this up. Grab our weight. Grab the tipper. This tipper's alright if you want to keep it, but I like to get a nice big chunk of load. Nice good load. I don't want to take 2 trips, you know. Sell it directly to the shop so we can get more money for it. And we'll get $10,724, which is perfect. Trailers, and I recommend buying the Rudolph DK280RL. This one's great. See, this one holds 18.5. They both hold the same amount, 18.5. Stuff like that. So just get this one. And if you hit C for combinations, you can actually hook up multiple Rudolphs. And it's like a daisy chain and haul multiple. So if you had canola and you had sunflowers and some wheat, you can hook up 3 trailers, put 3 different grains in there, and drive around. So let's go grab our new purchased. Oh, we haven't purchased it. Let's buy it. This one right here. And if you want, you could put like different tires on it if you want. So it goes rougher tires, or you can go with the skinnier tires. We can do these tires too, but it'll cost $1,200 more. Wait, why not? Let's get some Michelin tires on there. Yeah. Those are cool. So this is our total here from this. We're going to go ahead and buy that. Yes. So that's purchased. And basically, we're just going to fill it up with canola. Hit R to start filling. We're going to switch to, not the wheat, not the canola. Hit start. That's about 9,000. That's only like 50% of this tipper, which is great. Put the lid back on if you like, or you can leave it open. It's up to you. And basically, we're going to go to this little finance thing, and we're going to hit spacebar. And we're going to be looking at that very closely. So we'll get out here, go to the house, And we're gonna be fast forwarding time. Let's go to 9. Or actually, let's go to 5 the next day. You want to start the early, when you're in buy mode like I am right now, or I mean sell mode, go to the earliest day next to the next earliest day. And now it's, look how dark it is. And sometimes you get this like, this wonky ghosting. You can fix that, I think, with the visual settings out of game. You have to do it in the main menu. I think it has to do with something with DLSS or something like that. So, and if you want, you can purchase lights here. I think the best lights to use are these big spotlights. And as you can see, they can really light up a whole field. So if you really want to put some lights into your thing, you can place them one right here, and maybe place another one right here. And then you could probably place one next to this beehive here and angle it like this. And just place it right there. And then you might want another one kind of on your land, but like somewhere in the back right here. Kind of hovering over your house, maybe like right here. So that's if you want to buy lights. We'll do that next time. I just want to kind of show you the menu here. So everything's going down. These are going up. So we're just taking a look at that. We're going to go to the next day or the next month at 5 in the morning. And our peak should be around 2,000 around. So as long as you're selling it at the peak around 2,000 or more, we should be good. So this is at 2,000. It's going up now. Goldcrest Valley is usually the highest bidder, or the Johnson market, and the oil mills sometimes can go up past that. So if we're in October, so we're just gonna go to the next one into November and go from here. Okay, so we're in November, and our prices look like they're going down. So we might go, oh shoot, we should sell. But maybe Old Mill might go past Goldcrest here. So what we'll do is we'll go fast forward an hour. Oh, look, it's going up. These are going down. Let's do another hour. 7. Okay, it's not really going up by much. Let's go 8 o'clock. Okay, it stopped now. So it's not going to go up and it's not going to go down. And we're in November. I'm afraid if once we go to December, the prices are going to drop dramatically. So we're going to go to Old Mill, and you can tag it by hitting enter. We can hit our little guy here, get in here, and it highlighted it. You'll should see a beam like that. Now if you're selling to the Goldcrest Valley, I'll show you how to do that, because that's not on the map, Goldcrest Valley. So if you want to sell at Goldcrest Valley, this is how I'll show you how to do it. So you're gonna aim for those silos back in those trees over there. So see on the mini map on the bottom left, you're gonna be going like southeast-ish. And you're gonna cross over here, you're gonna aim for those silos over there. So I have to go in that direction anyway, so I'll show you where to go from here. So you would unload it here, and then you would call a train usually over here. So right there is where you would rent a train. And basically, you for $1,000 per hour, you can rent a train. Now, the train will arrive in like a minute or two, and it'll park itself right here. And then you load it up right there, open up the back one. It's going to be the far back one with N. So make sure you hit N, and you'll see the doors open, and then you're going to hit R, and you're going to fill it up with the canola. And then once it stops filling up, you can basically just hit W and drive it forward. And once you get to this point of no return right here, that little X mark, once the train hits here, you will be kicked off the train. The train will keep going, and a little pop-up message will pop up here and say, do you want to sell your goods at Goldcrest Valley that was on the train? And just hit enter and hit yes. And then you should see a total amount at the top right and see how much money you'll have after you do that. So I am going to go to the old mill because they're selling them at a flat rate of $2,100. So we're going to go over there and sell. There we go. Oh, don't fall into that ditch. Jesus, that's a horrible ditch. Alrighty, so we're going to sell directly to the oil mill. Now, this is a good way to talk about the oil mill. So, this oil mill can actually be purchased. You can actually purchase this mill, and you can come over here to the gear here, and if you hit R, it'll cost you $80,000 to buy the mill. Once you buy the mill, you cannot sell. They don't become a supplier anymore. Basically, you can't sell to the oil mill anymore. You would actually have to buy. What you can do is you can buy another oil mill by holding Shift P, going to production, factories, scrolling over to this one, which is the oil mill. And you can buy this once you have $80,000. And anything you dump in here will be collected. And then you can produce canola oil in pallets right here. You can also, so here at the bottom, we have sunflower oil, canola oil, and olive oil. Look at these prices for olive oil. Look at the prices for canola oil and sunflower oil. So there's some money to be made here with the oils. I'm not kidding. So, but for now, we're just going to be selling our canola for $2,100 directly to this oil mill. Now, it won't always be the same area that has the highest prices. Goldcrest is usually the highest I've been noticing. And this could increase in December. I could be messing up, but I don't want to take a chance of it going down, so I'm going to sell directly right now. Hit I to unload our tipper. And watch the money at the top right. So we went from 40,000 to 60,000. So made about $20,451 from that harvest. And what I like to do is I like to park this tipper next to the silo, but not over the silo, not directly. I like to park it about right there and drop it off. So it's ready to be grabbed on the next season. So that's how you sell your canola and make a profit. And basically we're going to repeat this cycle over and over and over again for July when we harvest in July. So if you like this video and you like the tips I brought you, I'm sorry if the video was too long, but I just wanted one video that kind of explains how to get started, liming, plowing, maybe some tips and tricks on, combining these two fields, and, what equipment you do need, what equipment you kind of don't need, and stuff like that. You could play around with deleting some of these buildings and warping the land a little bit, and you can add some workshops and stuff like that. And then before I go, if you'd like to hit thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, that would be great. And I'll leave you with Mr. Doggo. We'll give it a little doggo here. There we go. And now you have a little doggo. Hey there, buddy. Oh, you like that? Here. Fetch. Got a little doggo here, and he'll wander around the compound, and he'll follow you around as long as you're not in a, not in a tractor. He'll follow you around, see? He'll come around. Oh, he wants to play. He's bringing the ball. Yeah, good dog. Good dog. So, that's cool. Let's see if he follows us. Let's see where he goes. Yeah, he'll just, I think he'll follow you around. But if you're working in a tractor, he'll just wander around and do his own thing. Oh, your ball's getting away. Oop. We'll go ahead and put that in his little dish. Right there. Alrighty, so that's me signing out. Have a good day, guys.